If you're running less than 10 ads per week in your ads manager, you're leaving millions of dollars on the table. And after scaling businesses to 7, 8, and 9 figures, and after managing over $20 million in profitable advertising campaigns, I've discovered that 99% of advertisers, they're stuck in what I would call a creative scarcity trap. They think that running 3 to 5 proven ads is enough. But the businesses that are hitting $10 million per year, they're doing something completely different. And once you understand the new way of running ads that actually grows your business, your cost per acquisition will drop and your revenue will increase. Because I'm on a mission to help you scale to 10 million per year using propaganda content. Over the next few minutes, I'm gonna break down the exact ad strategy that you can execute today to help you scale to new levels. So let's dive right into the 8-figure content strategy. So the first thing you need to be made aware of, and I've talked about this in a lot of videos, is Andromeda. This is the AI system, one of 3 that Meta has released. It's 10,000 times more powerful than before. Think of it like the matchmaker for a dating app. It's analyzing tens of thousands of pieces of content across 3.35 daily billion active users, like literally hundreds of thousands of pieces of content. Because when you launch an ad now, it adds all these AI amplifications. So these are all now different versions of ads. So it has to be significantly more powerful than it was before so that it can match the best ad with that user that it thinks that is going to resonate the best with it. In order for this to do its job, it requires creative diversification. The old strategy was 3 to 4 creatives per week, relaunch when they fatigue. And now the new way is you need 10 to 15 or more completely unique creatives. And I'm going to actually say diverse, because a unique creative doesn't mean that it's diverse. It just means it's unique. For example, you can have like 5 static ads, 1 red one, 1 blue, 1 green one, 1 purple one, 1 orange, whatever. And you can say all those are unique, which they are. They're different colors, but they're not diverse. Diversification to Meta is diverse messaging. Now, how are you going to know that you're being punished by this? Generally what you're going to see is your CPMs are going to go up. Your CTRs are going to go down. I actually was just auditing a friend's agency. They're actually a content agency and they think they had a really good ad account. I was asking, they think they have a really good ad team and you know, I was just asking some questions and none of it made sense. First of all, the first thing I saw that they were doing wrong is they had the wrong diversification. They had the wrong optimization in the campaigns. They said they wanted schedules. I go in and I see they're not even optimizing for schedules. If you go and look at the ads manager, they were optimizing for leads, which I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing to do, but if you want schedules and you want people to book on your calendar to learn about what you're doing, and then you're telling Facebook that you want leads, that's like, it doesn't make any sense. That's like saying I want purchases, but then I'm going to run a lead form to get those purchases and redirect everybody to the purchase page. You know, like, let's just set up the campaign. Let's tell Meta exactly what I want. Remember, it has like $1 trillion company. It knows everything about these users. Let's let it give it what it knows is going to do best. So many people think they're smarter than these platforms, and I never understand that. So they had the wrong optimization. Then they were running outdated practices where they just had all this these campaigns. They were just competing on themselves, and they had unique content. They had lots of content, the creative volume, but it lacked the diversification. It was all saying, we do this one thing, we do this, but it was just packaged all these different ways. If you want this, if you want this, if you want this one thing that we do, this specific type of content, it doesn't do any good. That's the old way of doing ads, simply put. And when you do it that way, and the old way, what happens is ads fatigue faster. Now, there's 2 ways that Meta said that you can do it. Number 1 is a creative volume. So in order to align with the best practices, the one way is the creative volume, which they specifically said 50 plus creatives per week. Now, I don't recommend this. You need to have internal team and proven systems to scale. This is not easy to replicate because there's a lot more than just the creative that you're going to have to scale with this output. Additionally, you can't be saying the same thing. You need to have somebody who understands messaging, who understands human psychology, and can create truly diverse content. Again, my friend, they have some of the most amazing content. I would love to have them create content for me for the sake of creating scroll stopping content, but they don't understand how the algorithm works. So I actually trust myself and my team better. Now, if we work together and I said, here's the type of message that we need, and you package the content Great. I took on an account recently. They were paying $15,000 a month for content, beautiful content. For 4 months now, and I take over, I start spending on ads. I get feedback from the sales team within 2 weeks. I say, pull it, cut it. We can't use any of it. The entire messaging was off. It was just too soft. It was like, yeah, it spoke to people, but it didn't punch them. It didn't move people. You need to understand the emotional triggers that you need to hit in order to drive action. Emotion drives action. Understanding human psychology is what it takes to create good messaging in your ads. So if you don't know that, you're going to have a bad time and you're not going to scale as aggressively. My buddy's agency was paying over 5 times per appointment. They were getting like $100 leads, and like 1 out of every 5 was converting to an appointment, which is like a $500 appointment cost, which is crazy. That's like insanely high. You should be getting, around $150 qualified appointment costs when your campaigns are set up right and optimized right. And those are going to be very qualified, financially qualified appointments. So they were just 4 times, 3.5 times over the cost, which to me, that's a big amount. Like 5% improvement is massive for me, let alone, 350% increase in costs because of that. So the creative volume, you still need to have the diverse message. This is going to be great for 8-figure brands, which if you're not an 8-figure brand, if you don't have an internal content creator, internal editors, internal graphics team, this is going to be a hard play for you to execute. So what I recommend is path number 2, which is the propaganda content. Can't type today. Can't write today. Now, propaganda content, all we need with this is 10 to 15 unique creatives with diverse messaging. Like, I'll give you an example. One of my highest performing campaigns right now, no change in scenery. It's just one shot, but it's got 15 to 20 unique messages on their offer. The click-through rates are through the roof. I'm not even making this up, like 4% to 23% click-through rates across these different ads. Well, why is that? Because again, I'm not trying to be smarter than Andromeda. I'm not an outdated, archaic media buyer or an outdated, archaic agency that thinks they're so good. I'm just leaning into what I know. I know the AI is the world's most powerful tool. They invested $60 billion into this AI system alone so that it can analyze millions of pieces of content and place it into the right person. So I'm just leaning into what I know, and then I'm creating the propaganda content that is needed. What messages, what psychological triggers do we need to hit? What is that? And guess what happens when we do that? Now we're giving the Andromeda the opportunity to succeed, and we get rewarded. Now, how do you get this diverse messaging? Pull transcripts from your sales team, ask customers, read reviews. These are the easiest ways to start. The algorithm, it loves this because 80% of your people are going to probably click on the same ads. Like, they're going to come from the, like 1 to 2 ads are going to do majority of the work. But that doesn't mean it was the first ad that they saw. I'll give you an example. So like, for example, what I mean by unique creatives, you need to think of every reason somebody would buy. So we're going to use dog food. Well, they're going to live longer. They're going to buy it for joint health. It's good for itchy skin. It helps with hair loss. I don't know if that's a proper term. I've never sold dog food before. But you're going to list out all these reasons why somebody would buy clean ingredients. You're going to list out all better vision, right? So all these are coming to my mind, and you'll come up with all of them. 10 to 15 reasons. What are the reasons why somebody would buy dog food? Now, there might be one of these that is going to pull the most amount of weight. One reason why, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't add all these others on. So instead of just having one ad, right? If you say, hey, we sell the cleanest dog food in the world, it's manufactured in America here, and we ship within 24 hours. You might have that as that's the proven ad script. Now, previously, what people used to do is they would just put like that same ad script, and they would say, if you want your dog to live longer, we have the cleanest dog food in the world, ships from America, blah, blah, blah. Like, same ad script. And then they would say, if you want better joint health for your dogs, we have blah, 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 blah. And so they put the hook and then the proven ad. That's the old way of doing it. Now what Andromeda is saying, we want diverse messaging. So each one of these ads is going to be unique. The algorithm loves this. Why? Well, think of what they care about: user experience. So when you do this right, what you're doing is you're creating value dense content, educational content. And what is happening is people are watching it. So where most people, let's say, live longer, is this is the number one of all these messages, or of all these reasons, this is the number one. This is going to pull the most weight. So what we want is, instead of just only doing this live longer message, as most people do, and throwing all these other hooks on it, essentially what we can say is something along the lines of this. Like, what I would do is, for this ad, I would say, something like, did you know that dogs that have healthy joints live longer because they're more active than dogs that have unhealthy joints and struggle with joint pain? They're able to run faster, run farther, go on further walks, which means that they're healthier and live longer. And if you're looking for a clean dog food, make sure to check out our business. Then what happens is, when you create content like that, again, it's value dense, it's educational, and people watched it. You might not convert that person, but what happened is you provided value, educated them, you created the propaganda that they needed to see. And guess what? Well, now they're on your radar, on your algo. The AI knows they watched it. It says, okay, this person's interested in dog food. Well, now they trust you. Now when you hit them with the live longer ad, they're going to buy. They might not have bought the first time. If you just hit them with this, they might not have trusted you. They might not have had that strategic idea planted in the back of their mind about joint health being the reason they live longer. Now you can say our dogs live longer because we have the best ingredients. Now they're going to resonate with that message because you did something, you provided value to them. There's an exchange that's happened. So what happens too on top of it is you get rewarded by the algo. You get lower CPMs because guess what? We can retarget them. They already watched this piece of content. So now to retarget them with your main ad that does all the work, it's very easy and cheap. And when you create those 10 to 15 ads, like, everybody wants to focus on the one ad that does the most work. And that's what they did. They'll have 3 to 4 ads that these are my proven ads. I know they work. We've done this for years. And what happens is, it's only talking to the person who is right here, this person. So if you only talk to this person, you're only going to get to this person. But if we say something else about the clean ingredients, about joint health, about something that provides value, now we might actually convert somebody on that. But also what it's going to do is it's going to fuel more people for our main ad. So we're touching all these different people at different stages. We're getting them in our algorithm. So now our costs get lowered and we get rewarded when they're actually ready to convert. We've provided value to them so they trust us more, and everything works better. Now we don't need just one ad to just keep showing and showing and showing and showing and getting creative fatigue. Then we get punished because they've seen this ad multiple times and multiple times and multiple times. What happens is now the creative fatigue happens much slower. The ads are more sustainable. So now we'll create these ads, 10 to 15 diverse ads, and these will last, literally sometimes like weeks to months, depending on how much you're spending. I've seen like 6-figure spends a month, and these ads still not burn out because they cover all the different types of message that gets somebody to buy. But just running more ads, it's only one piece of the scaling equation. And this whole way, it works better when you're at that 7-figure rate on the 8-figure rate, because you can spend less time filming content. It's less investment. You just have to have the right person that knows how to create that message, that very direct message that hits them right where they're at. This is what 8-figure brands are doing. They nail down the message of all the people that they want to reach. But creating diverse ads is only one piece of the scaling equation. But there's a complete propaganda marketing system that I've been using to scale clients aggressively, and we're seeing massive impact on their ad performance and overall revenue. So check out this video below where I show you how to hit $10 million per year, 8 figures, using propaganda propaganda content, and how you can use this exact framework to maximize every single ad that you're running. Now, if you want to work with me, knock out the application below. I do consulting. I also have a coaching program where I'll train you on exactly how to do this yourself. We can build it out, set it up for you, and show you or your team how to run it. Either way, get in touch with me, drop a comment below, or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm very active on there. Thanks for tuning in.